All right, Mr. Finley, you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This year we are cultivating a brighter future, and we are the Rangers, and we will lead the way. As we introduced ourselves, Mr. Finley is our assistant principal, and I'm Ms. Leffler. I'm the proud principal of Deer Park Elementary. Our vision and mission, and it's our new vision and mission this year. As a staff, we have worked together to build consensus of what our vision is. And our vision at Deer Park is to build a community of successful lifelong learners. And how we want to do that is by providing a warm, safe environment that nurtures academic, social, and emotional growth for all of our learners. Mr. Finley, you want to?
All right, well, there's several points of pride that we do have. And the first one being that we once again were rated an A school based on those test scores. And each year since the opening of Deer Park. So we're continuing the tradition of rating an A school. We are a very diverse school. We have over 37 languages, different home languages at this time. And it seems to be growing a little bit more each day. We do have a successful dual language program that we're running right now. We are adding second grade this year. So we have a kindergarten, first grade, and second grade group at this point in time. And then next year we'll add third grade. We are a 7 mindset readiness school, which means we're working on the 7 mindsets that help us to become basically some better people, some happiness, what makes people happy in life. And we were recognized by Ms. Leffler. Was it the district that sent us the 7 mindset piece, or were we recognized through that company?
We were selected this year to be a readiness school. We started implementation last year with the 7 mindsets, and this year we were invited to become a readiness school, which means that our teachers have more resources with the 7 mindsets, and also we get a 7 mindset coach to help us. So it's, you know, everyone's embraced it. It is a great mindset. It's based on research of what do people that are the most successful and happy in life, what are their mindsets? What are things that they focus on?
All right, thank you. And with that, as you can see here, with maxing out our limit of 100 people in our meeting tonight, we have a very active PTA and a lot of involved parents, which we need in order to continue being the type of school that we are. This year, we have over 970 students that are registered at Deer Park, which means we're kind of getting back to where we were originally before COVID came along. And as you see, we have our teacher meet and greet coming up. Our pre-K through first grade will be happening tomorrow night. And you see the last names there, A through L's from 4 to 4:45, and M through Z from 5:15 to 6 o'clock. And that's going to help us due to parking and so forth. So, and that's the other piece. If you have an opportunity to carpool with someone or to come as a family group, then please do so. So that way we can make sure that you have a place to park and be able to get there on time. Monday night will be our 2nd through 5th grade group coming through, and then the same thing with the timing, 4 to 4:45, and then 5:15 to 6 o'clock. There is going to be a virtual option as well, which is on Tuesday, and it is from 11:30 to 12, and we hope that that's because some of our parents may be able to take their lunch hour on that day during that time period and be able to go on during that time period. There is a PTA back to school event that is going on as well. And when you come in, they're going to be handing you a paper that kind of lets you know some of the things that you can go and do. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that, I believe. But you'll have that so that way you can go and see about signing up for the agendas and getting your car tags and things like that, which will be housed in our cafeteria.
Well, the first day of school is Wednesday, August 10th, next Wednesday. Arrival is between 7:10 and 7:40. Please be reassured that we will have staff members posted throughout our campus, helping students find their classrooms. So we are committed to safety. So please, feel reassured. And that's another reason why we have the meet and greet, so that kids get familiar with where their classroom is, who their teacher is, to help with those first day jitters. The first week of school is busier than usual. Okay. So understand that things like the car line is going to take a little longer. The buses loading are going to take a little longer. We ask that everyone, work with us and be patient, as everyone is learning new routines. Dismissal will take longer. We're learning the kids are learning how we call them to get in the cars, where they line up. So again, all of those things are, take a little longer. During the meet and greet, or on the first day, if you're not able to make it to the meet and greet, you will get a first day packet. There is a lot of important information in that packet. There's information also from our PTA. There are forms for you to fill out. That's your homework on the first day of school. So please, look them over. And I'm going to highlight another form in a little bit that is a new form this year. But, please make sure that you look through and you get those forms back to us, because it is important. Arrival. Students may arrive as early as 7:10. Okay, student drop-off area is on the outside of the school. That's by the cafeteria. We open the entrance for students to walk to class at 7:10. And again, members of our staff are posted throughout the campus to supervise students. Students can get a free breakfast, is available to them before 7:35. Instruction starts at 7:40 daily. Students need to be in their seats at that time. Of course, we will, get at the beginning of the year, I can tell you the first day, it's going to take us a little longer to get kids in. And we will hold what we call holding attendance. So, but once we get in the routine, remember, get those, get early, get to, time yourself how long it's going to take. We do encourage you, and I'll give some information on the buses, that you take advantage of the bus transportation if you have it available with you. With over 970 students, that is a lot of cars. That's a lot of, children coming to school. So by utilizing the buses, that definitely helps us in that traffic. Our buses, they load and unload in the front of the school by the main office. And again, there are adults in the front to help guide them to class, to make sure that they're safe. We cannot, it's actually a state law, we cannot mix cars and bus traffic. So we do not unload in the front while buses are there. Mr. Finley, you want to talk about dismissal?
Ma'am, so the students are dismissed at 1:55. That's Tuesday through Friday, except on Mondays we do dismiss 1 hour early. So it's 12:55 on Mondays, 1:55 Tuesday through Friday. And if you do have to have a sign out for any reason, let's say, and really we're asking these to be for important reasons, like a doctor's appointment, that kind of thing. If it has to be early, then the last sign out is going to be at 1:30, and that's for safety reasons as well. And it'll be 12:30 on Mondays. Please make sure that when you come to the school, if you're coming to sign them out, or if you're coming to visit, that you have your ID with you. You'll need to show it at the door we have the camera there. You just take your ID, you show it in the camera, and then they will let you in once you hit the little buzzer that's there. No children will be released unless they are listed, that person is listed on the emergency card. So if grandma or grandpa comes in, they need to be listed, or we cannot release the students to them. If there's any kind of change in how your student is going to go home, please make sure that you send a written note with the changes to your child's teacher. That can be email and dojo, but please don't do this at the very last minute. If it is a very last minute thing, you definitely need to call the office to let them know.
But understand that once we start that dismissal process, and we start about 1:40, 1:45, because the teachers work together to make sure that the kids are going to their area that they need to go. It is very difficult to get a hold of a teacher to change that dismissal. So this needs to be done early. And that's why we have sign outs before 1:30 or 12:30 on Mondays.
Yeah. Once again, our buses do load in the front of the school. And so when at dismissal time, the teachers are going to take those bus students and they will walk them to each bus and then put them on the bus. Cars cannot mix with them because of the way the state law is. And then car pickup is in the back we talked about. And then please do not come any earlier. What time did we say there before? Because I know it causes that backup.
So we said no earlier than 12:30, 12:45. I promise the line will not start moving until 1:55. So coming early and sitting in the car line, it's not gonna get you any sooner. And we had to learn a new traffic pattern as the road opened up last year. And we worked together, and I was very proud to say that we are able to dismiss once everybody is following the routine and everything. We're able to dismiss in 15, 20 minutes all the students, which is amazing.
And with that, you have those of you that are going to be using the car riders. The designated spot is going to be in that back parking lot by the cafeteria. You're going to please remain in your car and then continue to move your car forward. And then you have a car tag that's going to have your child's name on it. So please make sure that is up in the rearview mirror so that we can see that. And that's going to help us continue with the flow of dismissal. There are staff members that are going to be out there to help open and close the car doors, and to make sure that everybody can get out of the building, in and out of the building very safely. The other thing is, if you're going to have a car seat for the child, you need to make sure that that is on the side that is closest to the building. So that way they're not trying to come out of the car on the opposite side where a car might hit them. Okay, so we want to keep them very safe. During Meet the Teacher, you are going to be receiving the car tag. So that'll be very easy. If you need more than one, you're just going to let them know. Sometimes you have a different parent going to pick them up. Now, if for some reason you just don't have your car tag that day, it's helpful if you just write their name very large on a piece of notebook paper, at least, if that person doesn't have a car tag. If everyone's following the procedures, then we should not take much longer than 15 to 20 minutes when we get into our normal routine. Remember, at the beginning of the year, it's a little bit longer. Please bear with us. And then we do get it down to that 15 or 20 minutes.
Well, here is our car circulation, okay? And like I said, with the road, this presented some challenges with also we have our population comes from two directions, from the east and the west. So we have to merge two lines into one so that we can pick them up. So here you see the blue line represents the cars entering. Okay, so the cars entering from the east, Citrus Park Drive, would enter this first drive right here. There is a turning lane here. Please stay in that lane. It will move, I promise, as things move quickly. When we skip lines and things like that, that just, it adds problems. So, and you would go around. At this point over here, the west that has the turning lane from the light, and we have an extra long turning lane there, but this is where buses come in, and it's also where from the west cars come in. There will be someone standing at that cross section to be able to merge the cars. So please follow the directions of our staff so we can safely. They will also, the cars exiting, you can see the white line, okay? The white arrows represent the cars exiting. And the reason we wrap around and you see all of this wrapping around, this actually allows us to load and unload more students. And then when you exit, it is a right turn only, coming out of the school. It is a right turn only. And then the buses, like you'll see, is again at the front. It works, I promise. We had a lot of doubters when we started, but honestly, the compliment we got last year that we're better than Chick-fil-A. So that was my favorite compliment. So, all right, Mr. Finley, you want to go ahead and talk about bus transportation?
Yes, ma'am. So bus transportation, you're going to have a list that's going to let you know when your student would be able to come, start on the bus and then get off the bus each of the days. The stop times and so forth, they will be available online on the district website. You can also pick one up the night of the event. We're going to have one of the tables there to where you can pick up one of those as well. Buses will load and unload at the front of the school, as we said. All students are transported. All students that are transported by the bus are requested to be at their bus stop about 10 minutes beforehand. If you start coming too early, then some problems could arrive and that type of thing. They don't have enough to do during that time to wait on the bus. The other thing is that if they come too late, they may miss the bus. So students, if your child is running late, we don't want them running toward that bus. If that bus starts to take off, we don't want them hurt. So please make sure that they're there about 10 minutes beforehand. On that first day of school, we are going to, as the students come off the bus, we are going to ask them the question of how they're going home, but we're also going to verify these things. And that is to find out if they're planning on riding the bus home, then we're going to put a band on their arm right as they're getting off the bus. If they're doing daycare, if they're going to ride a car or anything else, then they're just going to go to class. And then we're going to have a group of teachers come around and put an armband on them. Once we put that armband on, please do not take it off for this first week. Let it stay on there. So that way it helps us know how they're going to go home. For instance, if they were going to ride the orange bus home, then they're going to have an orange band that goes on their arm. They can jump into the bathtub with it and they can go swimming with it. It's fine. But please try not to rip it off or have them rip it off, because we need this, especially those first 2 days, to make sure that we get them home safely and in the right manner. Any kindergarten student, if you have a kindergarten student, then if they're riding the bus, then they're going to have a green tag that gets put on their book bag. Please do not take that off. The only way they can ride the bus is if they have that green tag on their book bag, and it will have some information for the bus driver so that they know, who the student is, what their student number is. It's going to give their stop location, just some general information. The other thing is that if you have a student that is a kindergarten student, there must be an adult at the stop to pick them up. So you have to be at the stop. You cannot be waiting in your car or anything like that. You have to be out where the bus driver can see them. Otherwise, the driver will not let the child off the bus, and then we'll end up bringing them back to school. And that can cause a little bit of, high nerves, because we see our child not getting off the bus and we want to find out what's going on. But please make sure you're at the bus stop. If you do have an older student and you're wanting them to come off with them, then you need to touch base with the driver, and the driver will be aware of that.
Walkers and bikers. If your child is going to walk or bike to school, please discuss safety procedures for walking to and from school, making sure they walk on the sidewalks, they stop and only cross at the crosswalk. It is best to walk in groups. This is not only is this safer, it also causes less traffic light changes at the crosswalk. If you walk in groups or come to school in groups, it's less of the crossing guards stopping that light, stopping the flow of traffic. So it is best to walk in groups. If you wish for your student to wait for you before walking home, please let the teacher know that you don't want them to walk home by themselves, that you're going to be walking home with them. And parents that are wanting to meet their walkers and walk home with them, you meet them at the sidewalk near the crosswalk that's on the side of the building. It's where they cross over to get to the school from the sidewalk when they're walking, but that is where you meet them. We have a bike rack that's located by the front office. Bikers, they need to unload and walk their bike when on campus. And this means from the light coming into the campus, they need to come off their bike and walk. The reason for that is you have a sidewalk that's shared by walkers and bikers. And there is also a little bit of a slope to it. Then you have buses coming out, and to be safe, it is best to unload the bike and walk into the school.
The other thing to that is we do not have walkers coming onto campus and then walking off campus and then a car picking up. Make sure that if you're a car rider, you only pick up on the campus near the cafeteria and not pick up on the road at any point.
Okay. Some parents have asked, what do we do to keep kids safe? And we are a safe, closed campus. So basically, when you're on the access to our campus is controlled. There's one point of entry when school is in session, and that is the main office where you have to present ID and all visitors have to sign in. All classroom doors are locked all day, daily. We also practice monthly fire drills and lockdown drills, okay? We have a school security officer on campus during the day, every day. For some reason, he can't be there, that's Officer Ty. They send someone else, but there will always be a school security officer during the school day. All of our staff wear badges that allow them to alert if needed. In other words, it's a badge that they use that if there is some kind of an emergency, they push a button and it lets us know that there is a situation that we need to address. Volunteers that are on campus must be screened. And we will also have a volunteer orientation in September. Be looking for information on that, that we will go over some guidelines for volunteering at school. School meals. All students have the opportunity to have a free breakfast between 7:10 and 7:35. Last year, for the last couple years, school lunch was free. This year, we're back to that school lunches are $2.25. We encourage you to, if you're going to have school lunch or you're going to have your child purchase any kind of snacks, that you use the Meal Payments Plus system, where you go and you put money in an account where the child can charge, and then you actually see what it is that they're purchasing. You can also control how much you want them to use for snack, and and it's a very good system because you see exactly what they're purchasing and whether they're purchasing 10 cookies for all their friends, all those things. So we really encourage you to use the Meal Payments Plus. If you want to see if you qualify for free or reduced lunch, the application is online at the hillsboroschools.org. You can just in the top in the search enter meal application, meal benefits, and it'll take you right to the application.
Also with that, if there are any dietary restrictions or anything like that, you would be able to find that form on the district's website. And you can also touch base with Chef Giordano, which is our manager at the school. She would be able to assist you. Okay. And with school supplies were posted on the Deer Park website. So you should have had an opportunity to be able to see those. The teacher may have some slight variations to it. It just depends. So when you go in to meet with them, they'll have that information ready for you. We do have water filling stations in every classroom and throughout some strategic places in the school. So that means that if your child has a water bottle, we of course want their name on it so that we can get that bottle back to you in case they do leave it somewhere and that type of thing. But they would be able to take that water bottle and fill up their water bottle and continue to have water throughout the day. If you pre-purchased a supply kit last year, that is going to be delivered to your child's classroom teacher. So at this point, our PTA, I know that they asked for a few volunteers. So if you're interested in doing that, you can check out that link and then help out with that piece to come and help deliver some of those supplies. If for some reason your child is not going to be at our school this year, then we will make sure that you get that supply kit as well if you purchased it.
Also about, writing names on water bottles, believe it or not, it's quite interesting how many we find that have no names because they leave them, but jackets.
Yes.
And, any kind of jacket or sweatshirt that you think your child's going to take off, please write their names on tags. It's amazing how many we find all over the school, and it makes it very difficult when they don't have their names on it.
And our school uniforms, we do send out a form out each year asking our parents if they would like for our school to be a uniform school. And overwhelmingly, we usually get back that yes. So our school colors are hunter green, gold, or white for the collared shirts for the tops. You could use a t-shirt. We do have the blouses that can be with or without our school logo. So if you need the school logo, then you can go to the uniform website to be able to order those. And if you do not want to purchase there, you can go to places like Target or Walmart and be able to purchase just the regular colored shirts with no logo. The bottoms should be the navy or the khaki shorts. That's not the athletic shorts. So those basketball shorts, those should not be worn. They are able to wear pants, skirts, or jumpers as well, as long as they're navy or khaki. And then also we're suggesting with the closed-toed shoes, because every day our students do have a 20-minute recess time, and they also have a teacher-directed PE time that they do that. So making sure that they have the closed-toed shoes are best so that way they don't get hurt.
Again, we already shared a little bit about the 7 mindset, but again, it's based on research of the successful and happy people. These are the 7 mindsets. You'll see it on our spirit shirts. You're actually going to see it kind of all over our school. Our awesome PTA painted our stairs, and they look beautiful, but this is becoming just more and more of our culture, more and more of our language, so that we can build those lifelong learners. One of the forms that you're going to find in your first day packet, this is the new form, and it's the Student Health Parent Opt-out form. Please read this very carefully. You only need to fill this out if one of the services that is listed, you do not wish for them to be at school. So in other words, you do not wish for them to have vision screening or them to have hearing screening. That only happens in certain grade levels. But if you wish for them not to participate in that, that's where you would fill this form out and then put no on the side that you don't wish for that. And emergency health service, that would be the nurse tending if they had a cut or, a bump. Of course, if they come to the clinic, the nurse does call after she tends to them. If they're, really, they need to go home, we will obviously call you. But you will only fill this out, again, if you do not wish for the student health staff at school to tend to, do any of these things here, okay? So please do read it carefully. Okay, well, we're very happy. After the last 2 years, they've been tough years, and we still have managed to have a lot of fun, but we have planned a year full of fun between PTA and our staff. These are some of the things that we plan to have. More information will come out as we get closer, but you know, we do plan on having a year full of activities. Stay connected. This is a great place for information. The phone, you know, the school phone number and all, obviously those things you can look up. Our school uses Class Dojo as a parent communication. You'll get more information from your teacher. If you haven't gotten an email already or a link already, because I know some of the teachers have started to do that, you know, please sign up for it. It's just a very easy way to communicate with your teacher. You can even send messages to me, Mr. Finley, or Miss Leverett, or Miss Mackhart as our new guidance counselor. You know, we're all on that app, and it's an easy way to communicate with us if you have any questions or concerns. We also have a Twitter account, and you'll every once in a while will be activities that we'll, you know, post. The feed also is on our school website, the official Deer Park website. There will also, you'll see our Twitter feed on there also. We also have Facebook. We have a Deer Park official Facebook page, and PTA also has a Facebook page. There is a Deer Park Families Facebook page, but please know that that is not an official page. That is, Mr. Finley, you were here when that was designed. So share what the Deer Park Family page is for.
Well, that was a way several years ago that we were able to connect with some of the families. However, the families really started that up, and it was more of a neighborhood kind of thing. But at this time, we really want you to be redirected to the Deer Park page and to Deer Park PTA page if you're going to utilize that for the most part. Just as a quick reminder, we know that some of you might have come in a little bit later or missed it. All the questions that you have that you're putting in the chat, we will address at the very end of this. So please know that we're not, you know, avoiding your questions or anything. We'll get to them at the end, though.
And we just also want to remind you that, you know, for all questions about your students' academics, you know, concerns, please reach out to your child's teacher, or reach out to the front office and one of us, you know, that we can help you. But we're here to, you know, help you, help your child. So please do reach out to us. Well, it's going to be a great year. You know, this year, I have to say, you know, as we met with teachers, it was very nice to meet in a more normal setting and talk about more normal things, you know, and I use that word normal in quotes. So, you know, that is, you know, I know it's going to be a great year. I can tell you that our enrollment is high. Okay. You know, which we're excited, but it is very high. All right, please, I'm looking over the questions, just if there's anyone that are, you know, pertaining specifically to your child, we won't. So I have a question of how do you sign up for Class Dojo? Your teacher will give you a link. If he hasn't been emailed or sent to you, they might have something for you to scan the night of meet and greet, and then you'll connect. It is an app that you do have to download on your phone in order for you to connect. But it is a very nice way to share what's going on in the classroom, a very easy way. We do ask that our parents understand that, you know, teachers, at least give them 24 hours to reply during the work week. And, you know, some teachers will reply in the weekend, but it is their off time. They have to tend to their families and to themselves too. So I have a question about field trips. Are they back? Yes, they're back. Okay, yes, field trips are back. So be looking for more information as teachers plan field trips that are tied to the curriculum. Are jean shorts allowed? Well, the uniform is either khaki or blue, the navy pants, uniform pants. How can we find a student ID? You can, during meet and greet, there will probably be some document somewhere that has that, like your emergency card will have a student ID. You can ask your teacher because they would have a roster that has their student ID already once they're registered. Mr. Finley, can you see the questions?
Yes, ma'am. There's a question regarding just like restricting some of the snacks and so forth. You would be able to do that online, but we would also say, you know, if you are having trouble with that, then just contact the lunchroom manager. She can help walk you through it. There's a question regarding buying school supplies at school. At this time, no. Those supplies were ordered back in April of last year, I believe it was. So the next school year, or this school year in April, if we decide to do that part again, you would be able to order at that time. But if you did not pre-order, then you'll need to go ahead and go to the store. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I have someone that their postcard was ruined in the mail. Postcards were sent out last week. And anybody that registered recently in the last few days, please understand that you didn't get a postcard, but you can come to your grade level meet and greet. There will be people that night again with clipboards, with lists that can direct you. And that is if your teacher already hasn't reached out to you, so that you can find out who your child's teacher is. And you can call the school and we can help you if they've been assigned. Do we have an after-school program? The after-school program that is at our school is HOST, which you can go to the school district website and look for, just type in HOST again in the search. It will take you there. I am not sure whether they are full or not. I believe somebody will be at the meet the teacher event from HOST, so that you can ask the question then. But I'm not sure if they are full yet, and that's for kindergarten through 5th grade. We also have several daycares that do pick up at Deer Park too, and they might have space in their after-school programs. Yeah, the HOST program does not take pre-K. I'm not sure if any of the ones that pick up, whether they do take pre-K. That would be, we do have a list available in the office of the daycares that pick up at Deer Park. I have a question. Will the school offer AR this year? We will have AR for 1st through 3rd grade this year. STEM is, I have a question about, do we have plans to introduce STEM, a STEM class? Well, there is STEM is part embedded within the science and math curriculum. We don't have per se a separate class, it's embedded, and there's a certain day in the week that is, you know, more STEM related. I don't at this time have basic coding, like a club. We will have a tennis club, and the Bricks for Kids and the tennis club will be available for sign up at the meet and greet in the cafeteria. They do fill up quickly. It is a fee. It's an outside agency that comes in and does those different clubs.
There's a question regarding the drop-off. So yes, you could have a child that is being dropped off in the morning and take the bus home in the afternoon. We encourage you to try to stay as routine as possible so that the students don't get confused about it. And the same thing with teachers sometimes, because if it's changing on them, then we run into issues sometimes with that. But yes, they can change if need be.
There will be a dismissal form in the packet that you receive where you indicate how they're arriving and how they're going home. you'll write that information on there so the teacher has it.
After school students will be dismissed at the front of the school, kind of like buses. We have them waiting. As soon as the buses are released, then the daycare vans will start coming in, and they do come in at different times depending on how they're picking up from other schools, but we do have the students picked up in the front of the school.
After we load the buses.
Yes.
Well, you're very welcome for the Class Dojo app. I have a parent that's happy about it. And we have, that is something that we, when at the beginning of the pandemic, we started using just because it was an easy way, as we had kids at school and at school and at home. And it was an easy way to communicate. And we have stuck with it because it does help. You can there will be there's supposed to be a host person at the meet and greet. Like, again, you sign up, where you sign up is online. And I'm not sure, the last time I spoke to the supervisor, they were pretty full. So they have to maintain a certain ratio of adult to children.
There's a question that's just regarding the change of dismissal again. If you ever have any kind of change of dismissal, you're going to inform your child's teacher. If for any reason you have been using the car and all of a sudden you're wanting your child to ride the bus, you need to contact the office to let them know to get a bus pass. Now that's after we get started. So if once the first day, if you're riding the bus, then it's going to be fine. They're going to get everything that they need. But let's say you go a week or 2 weeks into it, then you want them to start riding the bus, please contact the office to get a bus pass.
Mr. Finley, there's a question. Please explain the gifted program.
The gifted program basically is a program that's designed, the way the state of Florida has set it up, there's an actual law that says that there's 3 components to becoming gifted. The students, one of the components are going to have to be that they have to have 2 standard deviations above the mean, which means it's like an IQ test that the students would take, and they would have a score of 130 or higher. And after that, then there's also 2 other pieces, which is a checklist, and then there's also a need for the program. Sometimes we have students that are higher than the 130. However, there may not be a need for the program. But if those students meet that, then the teacher is going to go through for the most time and ask for the gifted screening to be done. We would screen the child first, and then depending on the screening, we would go either to further testing, or we would talk to the parent to let them know, how the student scored.
I have a question about dance class. In the past, years we had a Webby dance used to come, but they have not signed up with us this year to do that. But we will, continue to try to expand clubs that want to come in. There's a great question about, should we bring the supplies on the first day? I can tell you that the best day to bring the supplies is at the meet the teacher. If you're not able to make it, please don't feel bad about sending your child with a few supplies every day. We don't want them, overloaded, but over the week, you can, if it's too much for them to carry, they can definitely bring them in over the next few days. Another thing we'll be bringing back this year is our music programs after school. And that would be, later we will be sharing more information. Mr. Fouts and Mr. Hankins will be sharing more information. If you have any, concerns about any kind of treats that your teacher, Class Dojo is actually a motivational program too, where teacher awards points for, the kindness and different things that the child is doing, following directions. That's one of the ways that we utilize Class Dojo. But if your teacher, shares treats or something like that for motivation, and you wish for your child not to have that, that's something to communicate with the teacher. Okay, I'm just scanning through. I'm thinking we've answered most of the questions. There was a question, will this be posted? Yes, we will post the recording and share it out. How do you report that? Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Finley.
There's just a question about students using Class Dojo. For the most part, parents tend to use it. And there's other ways in there where there's a section in there where you could use and give them certain points as well. So we go through and give them points for different reasons, but there is a parent piece in there too. Generally, the kids aren't using the Class Dojo quite as much. However, I've received some messages before from the students saying hello.
All right, and someone is asking, how do you report allergies? You will have an emergency card that you should always put it on there. And Mr. Finley had mentioned the dietary form that you can find online at the school district website. It's important to fill that out if your child has any kind of allergies that, that they, be harmful to them, that we're aware of that. School supply list is on our Facebook page. It's on the school website. It's on, I believe even PTA shared it. If you connect it with Class Dojo, it is one of the posts earlier. The student daily schedule, that will come later from your teacher.
And tomorrow night and Monday, this is a meet the teacher kind of night. Later on, there will be an open house that we use to go over like curriculum and their schedules and that type of thing as well.
Mr. Finley, yeah,
there's one here. Every student received a postcard. If you did not get a postcard to let you know who your child's teacher is, you would be able to come in based on your grade level. Again, tomorrow night would be pre-K through first grade, that they would be able to come in. There's going to be several adults around that has the paper. You can give us your child's name, and then we can let you know your child's teacher on that night that you come to visit.
Mr. Finley, there's a question about tutoring. We sometimes have like an after school for certain grade levels where we identify a certain group. But I would best, discuss with your teacher. Your teacher's going to be doing some assessments. And from there, we identify what needs the child has, and the teachers work together to meet those needs.